In this presentation, I included a lot of information regarding London because I understand that there is many people coming from London. Can you raise your hand, people from London? Okay, so many. Nice. Nice. So, as he told you, our project is called Faltan Manos. Faltan Manos is a Chilean slang to express a context where you need people to do some stuff. An example, if you have a flat tire and you're two in a car and you're with no car jack and you need to lift the car, you will say, dude, we can't lift this. Faltan Manos. We need more people to do this. Okay, so we choose Faltan Manos as the name of our project because we want to connect needs with people. To begin, I want to let you know what's the core concept of Faltan Manos. What's Faltan Manos? It's a collective mapping tool for catastrophe response. And what do we want at Faltan Manos? We want to connect needs with people and improve collective decision making. But I want to begin first with a comparison between disasters you can see in Chile and disasters you can see in London. So, from my little research, I found that you can see tornadoes in London, you can see fires, and you can see floods. In Chile, in contrast, you can see earthquakes, you can see volcanic eruptions, you can see tsunamis and floods as well, fires, and landslides. So we have all of them but tornadoes. We've never seen a tornado as big as yours. Next, I want you to make a pause and compare what's the fireman system looks like here in Chile compared to London. In London, being a fireman is a job. You get paid for it. And the annual wage goes between 22,000 and 42,000 British pounds a year. In Chile, you get nothing out of it. In fact, you lose money if you are a fireman because you have to buy your suit and you have to pay for courses. So firemen in Chile are volunteer, entirely volunteer. And this creates an interesting context here in Chile because I think this phenomenon is causing people to look volunteering as something really special because they are volunteers. So, Faltan Manos was born on a big urban fire that happened 2 years ago, as some people are already told you. And after working with people and coordinating volunteers to assist the people in need, we got a fund like a year and a half later, which will be around 50,000 British pounds to make our project a reality. I will tell you later about what is it, but I want to share with you the experience we have and the knowledge we got from this experience. So some data about the fire: around 2,900 houses were destroyed by the fire. 12,500 people were damnified. There were 15 dead people and animals, and there were more than 500 people hurt, plus animals. So, in this small research I did in London, I found that your recent biggest fire, urban fire, was the Dagenham Recycling Center in 2012. Am I correct? Am I right? People who live in London? Okay. So, the recycling center is about 0.5 hectares. The fire in Chile, this urban fire, was 1,090 hectares. In comparison, it will be this little dot is the biggest urban fire in London, and this big square is our biggest urban fire in Chile 2 years ago. In this big fire, we acted as a bridge to coordinate volunteers coming to help people in need with places, with activities that needed people to complete those requirements. So if you take this as a tale, I will tell you, once upon a time, a hill or many hills in Valparaiso caught in fire, a big, huge fire. And there were so many young people willing to help. So many that you sometimes couldn't even walk up the street because the street was full or filled with people. And you saw something like this. People around everywhere trying to do their best with the information they had. So streets look like this. Many people on the streets. This caused a big problem, which was the emergency vehicles and the emergency transportation got really huge problems going up the hills because the streets were filled with people. So we, with a group of young volunteers, gathered and supported by a local governmental organization that works with young people, we created this group that was called Volunteers for Valparaiso. This was just one of the many groups that were created to help people in need, to help coordinate the aid of the people coming from even other regions, enterprises and foundations willing to help. So we were these 4 people which are working now on Faltan Manos, and other young people, really motivated and really good people, to begin to work in the coordination of different areas to help distribute the help incoming to the hills with people affected. And there was a really interesting phenomenon that happened to us. And we created this Facebook group and began to spread information about what was going on and tell the people where the help was needed and when and how much people there was needed. So they saw in this group a force of coordination that was so huge that in 4 days with this Facebook group in which we separated the messages with colors so you can keep track of different activities because volunteers want to work in different activities. In less than 4 days, we reached a mass of more than 800,000 people in this Facebook group. It was this really huge group of people willing to help and sharing information, commenting, giving message. And that was so crazy because we were only 2 people behind the screens trying to respond to all that information. The flow we got was nearly 1,000 messages per day. We were really crazy responding and trying to connect all the dots. So one really interesting thing we saw, and which was amazing for me until today, because so few times I have seen something like this, is that with coordination, coordinated. In this case, to move some plants to this side, some bird plants and bird walls. There was a lot of work that involved cleaning areas. And if you think what's the impact on this hill and many other hills with people that has the right information, are in the right place, are willing to help, and they communicate effectively with each other, it is really possible to achieve a coordinated work that efficiently helps people to solve their problems. And that was the core issue that we have in Valparaiso. We have so many people, but so few were correctly informed and so few were in the right place to act. So in all this, we understood that people really deserve trustworthy sources of information because they need to know what's happening in real time, and that's the huge, one of the biggest challenges, if not the the huge challenge of all, because you have all the sources of information, mainly on Twitter, people commenting and spreading information that's sometimes fake, and that's confusing people. So we try to unify this information and spread it through this Facebook group. And other thing that was really important to us is that volunteers want to believe by organizations and want to believe by trustworthy people. And they just need to know how many people are required, where is the activity going on, what's going on, when is it going to happen, this activity, and who is going to be leading them and who is getting the help. So we focused on guidelines that were super easy to understand. We connected with the leaders and spread messages super easy to understand, so we can capture volunteers and match the volunteers with leaders and get the activities going on. Other thing for you to consider is that volunteers, just as people, want different things. So in this context, many activities will be needed, many requirements need to be fulfilled, and you need to identify which leader is the best for each activity, because they all have different interests and different capabilities. About government, they constantly need updated information. They crave for information all the time because they need to make the best decisions. And if you took this as a timeline, when things happen here and this response begin to flow, information from here is gathered from the government, and they are deciding from information that took place here, but now we are here. So information in the scenario is changing so fast that we need to accelerate the update of information. And for that, smartphones can help us a lot. Also, damnified people, besides food, besides shelter, they need emotional first aid. I don't know if any one of you here have been robbed in your house, someone getting inside and taking all of your stuff. Can you raise your hand? When you remember that moment, I have been robbed twice. When you remember that moment, you put the blame on someone and you feel anger. But imagine if you couldn't put the blame on anything or anyone and you lost it all. How would you feel about that? And the last is that people, because the government is replying so late and reacting so late and giving information that is not the same as other sources, some people are losing trust in government. And when people lose trust in government, they get the work to be more difficult for them. So this is a really difficult and complex issue we are dealing with now. So, what's the application about? And really small, because I don't want to take too much time on this. The application, based on this experience, we think that mapping information using hands where you need activities and making these hands to change color with the participation of people can help you understand easily where you need help the most. When you see red hands, there is a huge need of people there. When you see yellow hands, there is not so much people needed there. And when the participation is fulfilled, that information is erased from the map. So you don't duplicate efforts and you get to people to see other affected areas. So this way we can spread and share the efforts in a more efficient way. So this is how you'll see it in a traditional map using those Google pins, and this is what our maps looks like. Beside the hands, you see an icon on the center which communicates what kind of activity is taking place there. And when you click on it, you see information, and you can access to more information and get involved with that activity. So that allows us to understand how many people are dealing with situations, how many needs, and how many volunteers are involved in the territory. And you can find us here. We are Faltan Manos. Thank you very much.
I one question.
Yes.
Please. You were first. Sorry.
It's like I'm very impressed with this. Like I think it's like really good and really helping people. I want to ask like where the volunteer come from? I mean, like, is there's like a certain distance to, you know, like gather people? I mean, like, is it like people in Paris, or like it's really gathering people from, I don't know, like northern part and southern part? And how you manage them? I mean, like, because like if I imagine myself, I go to the disaster site and then okay, let's say I got clear thing to do, but then like I will think like, how about myself? I mean, like, is it safe there, or like where I will sleep, what I will eat, things like that?
Yeah. Okay. The first question. In this particular phenomenon, there was people coming all over from Chile. We got message from people from Punta Arenas to Arica willing to come here. And I think a huge part of that interest came from the media, because this fire was really covered by the media. That's my point of view, comparing the media coverage with earthquakes and other fires. This was really huge. It was all over the places. And so when these people messaged us, we were working with foundations, with universities, and with government. So we knew where the activities were taking places, and we could send them with a person in charge of the activity. Regarding the second question, the issue about staying, I don't know how to say it. When you get to a place and you need to stay, you need a shelter. There was 3 ways people were coming from other regions were solving that. 1, they came with tents and they spent the nights on the beaches. We got those kind of things. 2, people stayed in friend houses. And 3, people stayed with the affected people inside the shelters. And regarding the food, everyone going on the hills had or I guess they had, or they must have had the information that they needed to go with their own food. But you will find food in shelters and centers. I don't know how to say it, where you gather food, clothing, and stuff. I don't know how to say that in English. But in Spanish it's centro de acopio.
Storage center.
Yes. Is it okay?
Yeah.
And another kind of volunteer, just go there. Just go there. They have no clue what they are eating, what are drinking, what staying, nothing. Just they go there.
Oh, and there were 2 sources of volunteers. Sporadic volunteers or spontaneous volunteers, which was like the cases he mentions. I don't know what will I eat, I don't know where will I stay, but I want to help, so I will go. And people coming from foundations and organizations.
Okay, thank you very much.